Ejura, a settler community which has most of the inhabitants here being farmers, has been in the news for the unfortunate reasons. The killing of a social activist, Ibrahim Mohammed, popularly called Kaka, and the death of 2 other residents during a protest. These incidents have forced the Interior Minister to visit the community to meet families of the deceased and also give them assurance on what government is doing to resolve the incidents here. Today, we have returned to this community to update viewers on this running story. The murder of an Ejura-based social activist has received wide condemnation by the public, government, traditional and religious leaders. The outrage took a different twist after armed military officers fired into a crowd of protesters, killing 2 and injuring about 4 others after the burial of the social activist on Tuesday. Grief, sorrow, and sadness remain the mood of families who have lost their relatives in the 2 incidents. Although there is calm in the community, Interior Minister Ambrose Derry, who visited the area, announced persons who will make up a 3-member committee of a public inquiry into the incident as directed by President Akufo-Addo.
I have set up a ministerial committee, a 3-member ministerial committee, to conduct public inquiry into the unfortunate occurrences on 29th Tuesday, June 2021. The 3-man committee consists of Justice George Kingsley Kumsin, Justice of the Court of Appeal as chairman, Dr. Vladimir Anchudanso, a security expert, member, MS Juliet Amwa, Executive Director of Pen Plus Bytes, which is a civil society organization of this country. They form the 3-member committee, and the Secretary comes from the Office of the Attorney General. She is MS Maria Louise Simmons, Principal State Attorney, to be the Secretary. This committee, I believe, is a committee of prominent personalities of this country, trusted. And I believe that within the 10 days given, ending 9th July 2021, the unfortunate circumstances would be investigated and appropriate recommendations made. Nana, I assure you of the commitment of the government to ensure peace and security in Ghana.
While the minister was at the house of the late Kaka, his mother, whose other son was arrested by police in connection with the murder, collapsed. Mr. Derry later gave further details of the arrest of the 3rd suspect.
Especially when I went to Kaka's place, where the mother kind of was protesting that one of the sons had been arrested. Quite a difficult situation for her, but that is a matter that's being handled by the CID. We want to know who killed Kaka, and that's the most important thing. And I believe that with time we will get that. The rest of the people, I want to thank you people and the civilian population here. You have most of the time been cooperating with the security agencies. I invite you to go back to that standard behavior and report whatever threats you receive. The last place, somebody told me that he has been receiving threats. So we've taken his number and we'll let the police know and follow up on those things. And I also advise that we shouldn't make unguided statements. sometimes unguarded statements can cause misunderstandings and lead to very, disastrous behavior on the part of anybody. But one thing I can assure you is that the president is committed. I am committed.
Some relatives of the deceased reacted to the minister's announcement of the names of members of the 3-member committee.
I don't know the type of committee they have formed, but to me, I think there are several things that has been passed for the past, and then they were not able to prove any evidence of justice, like the death of Ahmed Saleh. Up to now, no any justice for the journalist who was informing, educating, helping the government to fight against corruption, as you are doing. Up to now, nothing is done.
So what are your fears?
My fears is that if it's the same people they choose as the community, the inquiring community, I'm not agreement with that. I want them to take the problem to the parliament. The parliamentarians should choose a commission for inquiry that will inquire, or they call international community to come and inquire and then investigate this case. Those people who came in, they were policemen, army men, full armed with army uniform. Who sent them? It's the minister.
Member of Parliament for Ejura Dumase, Alhaji Mohammed Bawa Brema, following the shooting, is also calling for the withdrawal of the military from the area. But the chief of Ejura, Berima Osei-Hwidie II, made a passionate appeal for the establishment of a military detachment in the area to quell repeated violent incidents in the area.
Ejura had say ye to aba entokwa ye churo din a entokwa de bia na moja nkete egugu asase so enti honorable interior minister wa haide na ade chisa ne ye koye nimu yi ye besro Ejura ye koye nimu yala wada man kabua ye na ye nhwe se da chi bia no ye benya military detachment bi wa ha wo be si ha sei.
The government delegation gave each affected family 7,000 Ghana cedis. Another delegation, this time from the National Democratic Congress (NDC), also visited bereaved relatives and gave them 1,000 cedis each. National Communications Officer of the NDC, Sami Jemfi, called for the dismissal of the Municipal Chief Executive for Ejura Dumase, Mohammed Salisu Bamba.
We are aware of attempts by some elements in the police in the area to change the narrative, cover up, and blame the murder on an innocent brother of Ibrahim Mohammed aka Kaka. And so we are saying that apart from dealing with the killers, the Municipal Chief Executive whose bodyguards committed that murder, and the Municipal Chief Executive who is the same person who deployed the military to attack young peaceful protesters, military men who squatted, aimed and shot at unarmed, harmless, retreating protesters. That Municipal Chief Executive Officer cannot continue to be in office. And it is important that with immediate effect, he is dismissed from office, arrested, and prosecuted. Aside that, the police commander for Ejura, the military commander who was responsible for the mindless deployment that caused the death of Nasiru and Mohammed Mutala, must be immediately interdicted, prosecuted, and punished in accordance with law. People cannot hide behind the uniforms they are wearing to commit crimes and get away with that. And per information we are gathering on the ground, we understand that the military officers who shot into the crowd and killed Mutala and Abdul Nasiru were not the regular military officers we know.
No.
These are bearded, earring military officers who we believe are vigilante elements of the new patriotic party who have been integrated into the military force. They are the same people who committed atrocities we all saw during the Ayawaso West Wagon by-elections and got away with it. They are the same people who murdered innocent citizens of this country at Techiman South.
Yes. A final funeral rite was held for Nasiru Yusuf, one of the protesters who died when a military officer shot into a crowd. The Ejura community has been very calm after Tuesday's incident. The wish of residents and opinion leaders in this community is that this atmosphere should remain this way so that they can continue to enjoy the peace they have been enjoying. From Ejura in the Ashanti region, Hafiz Tijani for Citi News.